Welcome to the Spartan Digital Network. Time to meet Coach Roosevelt Peters, the new soccer head coach here at Missouri Baptist. And Coach Rose,
Yep.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Pleasure to be here.
How you settling in? Last couple of weeks, I think you got the job probably close to a month ago, but then we take the holiday break and we come back. And how are things going so far as you kind of get settled in here at Missouri Baptist?
Everything's going well. Meeting with the players as we got back from the holiday, a straight hour or recruiting trips in Jamaica. Then I was at the coaches convention in Philadelphia. Then now finally in the office and meeting the guys one-on-one to get to know them some more. So it's been good.
Just getting it started, right? So let's back up because we do want to kind of make this like a getting to know you and about you type thing. Tell us about yourself growing up. Where'd you grow up? Early influences with soccer, things like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I grew up in Nigeria. I was born in Nigeria, Abuja, Nigeria. My dad was a big-time coach there, former national team coach, professional, you name it, World Cups, director. So he ended up coming, actually, funny enough, people don't know this, he came to the U.S. Early and after a little bit in his career, and I came down with him, and then went back to Nigeria where I did my high school and middle school, and all that was done in Nigeria. So that's kind of it. And then my influence, obviously, I got to play youth national team in Nigeria, U13, U15, was in the U23 Olympic camp, just drops, and then, pursued college soccer myself and came back to the States.
Was it always soccer for you, or did you play other sports growing up? Any question whether you were going to be a soccer player or not?
There was questions. Funny enough, I didn't even like soccer that much because when you grow up around it, you don't like it as much. You're just like, then it's so much pressure. But I really wanted to be somewhat in the fighting industry, whether that was MMA or
Really?
a taekwondo expert. So I started off with taekwondo. I did track. I did boxing for a while, and then my parents were like, no, I'm not seeing you get hit anymore. And then I ended up falling in love with soccer, obviously going back to Nigeria, and then that's what changed that.
Everyone wants to be a boxer until they get hit in the face, right? That's that word. So yeah. So you came to the States when? It sounds like you came here and then you went back with your father and came back again. Talk a little bit about that, like your experience in, when did you come to the United States and what were those experiences like?
Yeah, I think if I remember the dates correctly, I came down in 2001 or 2, went back to Nigeria in 2009.
Okay.
So, and I didn't come back again to 2015. So that experience was great because it shifted where my dad actually worked. He came to mentor some college coaches and work in the college coach realm, just to get his master's degree and some things together. So that experience was different because I got to feel early in my life like I was American, but at home I was Nigerian, completely Nigerian. The food, everything was Nigerian. And then going home felt like I wasn't going home. It felt like a culture shock. And then you stay there so long, and then you're like coming back, and you're like, oh, I'm an international student again.
Right.
So yeah, that was very funny, really funny.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about your coaching experience, your coaching background. You got a head coaching job very young, and just kind of talk about that progression and how you end up here.
Yes. So once I came back to the States, 2015, started going into play. And while I was playing, Brian McCurdy, who is now the associate head coach at University of Tulsa, Division I, he was telling me, hey, come and work for me. Come and see what I'm doing here. Start coaching club in the youth. You come a coaching background. I'm like, okay. Coaching there, then I got to obviously be a work study with him while playing. I started to see, oh, this isn't so bad. So when I graduated, the school had gone through some they're about to shut down, financial issues, and they said, hey, can you stick around and be a recruiter for us to try and get us back into where we need to be? And I was doing really well with the youth team in the state. We're making it to the runners-up, the U19s, U18, and then before you know it, they end up hitting me up and saying, hey, could you be the head men's and women's soccer coach? So then I was, at the time, the youngest head coach in NAIA history. So that journey led me, and after some time talking with the university, I saw that the goals weren't the same in terms of competitiveness. So I wanted to be more competitive, and I didn't care about being a head coach. I would rather be competitive and then have the title of a head coach. So sure. I resigned and went to be an assistant at one of the top NAIA programs in the country, Oklahoma Wesleyan, and did their oppositions analyst for them and their head of development. And that's kind of what led me into the journey of getting championships, coaching big players, all Americans, coaching future professionals, and then that's when it started getting hot and people started calling for other jobs, and then that's why I landed in Maryville as a lead assistant there. Did that for 2 years, and then obviously that led me to being in Missouri Baptist as well.
Yeah, I made the trip down Conway Road, not far from here, to be the head coach at Missouri Baptist. I want you to tell a story, because you're talking about the first, your youngest head coach in NAIA history. I was Bacone College.
Yes, sir.
And I told you this story before. Like, you submit your resume, we're looking at all the resumes, stuff like that. And that first year, you're losing games like 19-0. I was like, dude, there's no way that this guy knows how to coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But tell the story behind that, like the players that you had to find. Talk a little bit about that, because I think it's a great story.
Yeah, it's funny. It's great because it's funny, but it's not great for me because it makes me look. So, but no. So when I take the job, they tell me, hey, by the way, we're switching to the AII, which is different conferences, independent institutions, and they get two national tournament bids. You can't back out because that's going to make them lose their bid, and we don't want to set up right. So I'm like, okay, cool. So how many players do you guys have? Like, oh yeah, we got one on the boys' side. I'm like, excuse me? Then they're like, how many you have on the girls' side? 4. I'm like, okay, so how are we gonna play? It's like, you just ask people to volunteer. I'm like, you do realize this is a college team, right? They're like, yeah, just call baseball, call basketball. So I start the job, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna get through this. First day on the job, I think we go to play a college, and we tie the NAIA all-time defeat record. We got like 27-0.
Yeah.
It was bad. And I remember the referee looks at me and says, rough first day on the job? I'm like, very rough first day on the job. I mean, it was ugly. I mean, the other coaches tried their best to make it, can you guys score only headers to their team? And they were still scoring like 5 goals. And they're like, you scored 1 touch. And they were still he was trying to make it easier so like they don't score as much and try to be merciful. But he didn't want to take away the competitive from his team. And it was like, I said, thank you, coach, for that. And you know what's funny about it? That's the current Grandview head coach.
Right.
Got played at Lyon College, and he was the head coach at the time. So that's so funny.
Yeah, great story. So talk a little bit about how the evaluation process is now underway here. Just be candid. What do you see that's good about this program as you kind of start to evaluate on your own, and where do you see that we need to get a little bit better?
Yeah, evaluation wise, what I'm seeing, even when you come out from an external standpoint, watching the game first, right? I see a bunch of kids who are hardworking and are runners. Now, I'm not certain if they have a purpose in how they're running per se for the game model I'm looking at. So, but the first thing I know, you can't force people to run, and these kids they're running, they're working hard. Second thing is, I think they're looking for accountability, and they're looking for a bit more of a push. Then on the character standpoint, because of the foundation of Missouri Baptist is on Christian principles, they're willing, already open to take part in that. So that makes my job as a Christian coach easier in terms of I'm not bringing anything out of the norm, but I am going to hold you accountable with grace and add a bit more structure. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So you've been traveling a lot since you got this job, primarily from a recruiting standpoint, and obviously just getting your feet on the ground here at Missouri Baptist. How has that process begun? How's it going as far as a recruiting standpoint now?
No, it's going really well. I think being bold with what we represent makes it so much easier. Got to go to Jamaica, and that was an amazing experience, because it was the Oliver Shield tournament. That's like their national tournament for high school. So all the kids there had that purpose of going to the United States or going to play college soccer at some level, and then the All-Star game. So meeting the kids, talking to them about the school, what we represent, the location, it's been really, really great. And then obviously going to Philadelphia to the convention and getting so much knowledge from top coaches, and getting to encounter and listen to a coach who's going to be here in the States, coaching the World Cup, as a head coach of Portugal. It'll be amazing to meet him and get to learn from Roberto Martinez as well. So good times.
So last point, and I may not fully understand it, but you can explain style of play. For me, like, you got a ball, you try to kick it past a guy that's in a metal frame, and that's soccer, type of thing. Not really, but talk a little bit about style of play.
Yeah.
In here.
It's an identity of intensity. That's one of the principles that we're gonna go by, is intensity. we're going to play with aggression, right? I like to crack a joke and say, he's John the Baptist. The kingdom of God suffereth violence, and the violence taken by force, right? It's going to be an aggression as we're playing. We're moving with passion. We're hunting, pressing football. Front foot is what we call it around the world. Very attacking. Like when I was with Martinez, he said there's two types of coaches. There's an attacking coach who is learning how to defend or learn how to defend. There's a defensive coach who learns how to attack. I am the first that I mentioned. I'm an attacking coach who's learned how to defend. So the principles are going to be get forward quickly. Don't want to expose too much because they're waiting to see what we'll be about in the conference. But yeah, it's going to be very front foot, very aggressive, high speed, entertaining brand of football, soccer that we're going to be playing. Mm-hmm.
So, Coach Rose, I know I'm excited. We're all excited. Just want to welcome you once again to Missouri Baptist.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the time.
Pleasure.
That is Head Coach Roosevelt Peters, and you've been watching it on the Spartan Digital Network.